ready, but we should see this take place, I would think, in the next 10 minutes or so. Yeah, notice that. I wonder where they're going to take the horse. Look around, open up, and see if they've set up an area to possibly take the horse to, or a team. Possibly. That's a long stretch to go, but I guess they could do that. Let me know when the helicopter lifts, would you? Why don't we go back to the helicopter, Tad? I think that's gonna. I think when he lifts, he'll probably come directly over here. So let's keep an eye on him for a minute and see when he lifts. Let's check out have they got the line attached and firefighters moved away. All right, he's not at 100%, so he's not going to lift quite yet. Looks like he's at flight idle. Oh, they're still getting the line ready. Can you push into the end of that line there? So, okay, that's the portion that's going to strap onto the harness, I guess, huh? Yeah. And what they'll do is they'll pull that line, you see the shadow from the other helicopter just flew over. They'll pull that line away from the aircraft so that when the aircraft kicks up and lifts up, there's no chance that it could get in the tail rotor. You know, you got to be careful. That's always a little bit of a concern. There's not much weight on it, so the pilot has to be careful that the line doesn't start to swing too much. It'll get accentuated when you put a lot of weight down there, and that can become a real issue. So, guys, practice this. It's not easy, that's for sure. It's probably one of the harder things you do with a helicopter is lift work, especially when you have to do it, you know, this technically. When you're dropping water, you miss your spot a little bit, it's no big deal. In a situation like this, he's going to have to drop that helicopter down in that line, and that's going to have to go right to the firefighter down there who can grab that and then go ahead and connect that to the harness that's attached to the horse. So it's technical flying, it's difficult flying, but you know, City great at it. They practice it probably as much, if not more, than you know any municipality in the nation. So they're certainly really good at this stuff. It just doesn't happen quick. You know, this has been going on since 6:41, the initial call, and none of this stuff happens quickly. So we're going on what 9:40-ish right now, I believe. So it's been at least 3 hours since the call came in, but we don't know for sure that the horse hadn't slipped down there overnight or you know, early this morning, and then at 6:41 they called because they noticed the horse had fallen. We just don't have that information, but that's certainly possible. And if that was the case, then the horse may have tried to get up on its own over and over and over again until the mare or the stallion was just completely exhausted. It's speculation just from, you know, what we've seen and what we've watched, but we do believe that it's going to happen here pretty quick. you'll start to see those blades spin a little faster. The helicopter was at flight idle a minute ago. And when the pilot gives it power, the blades will cone. It's something they call coning. And they'll sort of bend up a little bit as the blades get a little more pitch in them and they start to produce lift. You might see that here in a moment, but the 139 is certainly more than capable of doing this, and we believe that it's going to happen here in just a moment. Go ahead. Somebody calling Air 7? Sunny. Whoa. All right, so we did get some information. The horse's name is Sunny, and the horse is 30 years old. So I do believe, I'm no expert in horses, but I do believe 30 years old would put the horse at an older age. So that could be one of the reasons that he's having a difficulty, or is Sunny. I'm not sure if Sunny is a mare or a stallion. Could be either. But that could be one of the reasons that maybe the horse is having a hard time standing up, just exhausted from continuing to try and get up. Again, the initial reports were that no injuries. So we hope Sunny, we understand Sunny is a male, and he has been sedated. So Sunny is a male. We know it's a he now, and 30 years old. And hopefully this is going to save Sunny in just a moment when they lift him out of this situation. Yeah, we'll push back in. There's another city ship flying overhead. And, they tried. I don't know, do we still have that cued, Tad, where they tried to lift the horse up? I think we have some video we can show you that we shot earlier. Here it is right now. And, we watched them try this exercise as well as, maybe 6 or 7 other times to get the horse up. And it just looked like the rear quarters, the hind legs, just didn't want to work. We don't know if it was from an injury. We had a report of no injuries, so it's a little puzzling why the horse couldn't get up. The firefighters were tugging pretty hard. The horse really tried, and on a couple occasions just almost got up, and then it was just the hind legs of this horse that just didn't work. We believe possibly, here comes the actual lift here. And you can tell almost up, and then, just back down, and really concerned possibly that the horse may hurt himself just trying to stand up. And we don't know if that's from exhaustion. We don't know if it's a circulation problem when a horse lays on its side on an embankment for too long, because they did flip the horse over and spin him around. So they were concerned about that, it appeared. You can see right there now they're trying to lift him up just so that I think the blood flow wasn't down towards the head of the horse for too long. But we'll come back out to a live shot. Is the helicopter still in the... Okay, there's a shot of the helicopter. The firefighters have moved away. They're probably just waiting to get a call over the radio that they're ready for them at the site where the horse is. Why don't we push back into that? Tad, let's go back over to the horse. Most of the firefighters will probably back off. The horse has been sedated. We did get that information. So that's good. The horse would just be so frightened when the helicopter comes overhead. Most of those firefighters are going to move out when the helicopter moves in. They don't want as few individuals underneath the helicopter as possible, just as a precaution if anything would happen. Obviously, it's a dangerous operation. So once they're ready, a good indication would be the helicopter operator. The guy who's working the hoist, one of the operators, he'll be here, probably dropped off at that lot we showed you a moment ago, being driven over here. Once he gets there, the guy's going to hook up the line to the harness itself. Most of these other individuals will clear out, so that'll give us a good indication that it's about ready, that they're about ready to do this rescue maneuver and go ahead and then pick the horse up. Now, if the horse is too sedated, it'll be interesting, and I've seen this happen on several occasions, where the horse wasn't completely sedated. This horse looks like there's no movement. And then once the helicopter lifted the horse up and hoisted the horse out of the situation that was in, the horse was able to just stand. They just dropped the horse down on all fours, took the harness off, and the event was over. Depending on the sedation level, I'm not sure if that's going to work. We'll have to see what happens here. But if the horse is too sedated, it may not be able to stand. So I'm not sure exactly where they're going to take the horse. That'll be interesting. But you can tell when you start to speculate about all these things and talk about the possibilities, It's tough. It's technical. There's a lot of issues. Helicopters are dangerous. Getting underneath them is dangerous. Um, you have to do everything right, or it compounds the danger. And as we start to see more firefighters move away, looks like the homeowners moving away. That gives me an indication that more than likely we're going to see the helicopter move in here pretty quick. Probably that firefighter right in the center of your screen is the one kneeling down towards the harness where he's going to actually attach the rope or the line in the red there with the blue helmet. More than likely, he's just making sure. It's his job to make sure that harness is attached correctly. The guys have already done it, but he's going to go through. He's going to take a look at it. He's going to double check it, triple check it before they actually get the helicopter in there and hook up the line. But it looks to us like we're getting close. As I mentioned, these things take time, and we're hoping we'll have this lift. We're hoping the Sonny's going to be fine. 30-year-old male horse, and I'm sure the beloved horse of the owner. We've had horses in the past, and you really develop a bond with them. So I'm sure there's a lot of concern there. Top of your screen, that looks to me like, open up and just show the house. That looks to me like where the horse was in one of those stalls. And then there's a home there on the left. It looks like on the top of your screen. Looks like they may have 4 or 5 horses of their own. Maybe they bored out a couple of these on their land, a couple of the stalls there. It's hard to say. But a lot of the neighbors came in, usually a pretty close-knit community. They're out riding their horses. They see each other. So the neighbors came over for support. The horse owner, and we believe the landowner here, was really concerned. They were down there for hours just trying to comfort the horse. Now the horse has been sedated, and that's certainly good as far as the how frightening it'll be for the animal when the big helicopter comes in, all that noise and that downwash. But it'll be interesting to see once they do the lift exactly how they get the horse out of the harness and where they take the horse. But it looks like they're getting ready, and this could happen any moment now. Yep. Yeah, do you have a signal back? All right, go ahead. Yeah, I did. I heard that. Okay. I got about 57 maybe? 52, I mean, 53. Check the phone. Yeah, I think we lost our signal there for a little bit. It looks like right now they're, I don't know why we're going to a satellite view of this. Okay. Um, you can see a firefighter up there just washing down some of the dirt. There's going to be a lot of dust, so that certainly is going to help just with the amount of dust that is kicked up. It's a little more difficult when you do a hoist on the bottom of a hillside like that or down into a ravine, just because, you know, you got to be careful where the helicopter is and the rotor blades. And when it is like that, boy, you kick up a lot of dust. There's a lot of downwash. And they probably will put down as much water as they can in between now and the lift. I think they're mostly concerned about the dust that's going to be kicked up by the top of the ridgeline there, by the corrals and by the home, because it's such loose dirt up there compared to some of this. There's some brush on it. It won't be nearly as bad. I think we can take SkyMap 7 off. And I think your head is coming up here, so they want you tight on the horse. Come on down a couple hundred feet maybe. Well, the helicopter is lifting, but don't go to it. Don't go to it because how far out are we, JJ, to the live hit? All right, you can go to the helicopter then. Go ahead and go to him now. He's lifting. And the helicopter is just lifted off. If we go in tight, we'll probably be able to see the line. There you go. And that is a long line, too. That's at least 100 feet, I would say. So we'll see if the helicopter is going to go straight into where the horse is and just do the hoist. Looks to me like they need to get a few of the firefighters and some of the people out of the way when I glance over to where the horse actually is. But for now, we'll follow the helicopter. That's a City Fire helicopter, an Augusta 139. Sonny, the male horse that's been trapped here, is stuck on this ridgeline, 900 pounds, 30-year-old horse. 900 pounds shouldn't be a big deal for this helicopter at all. It should be next to nothing, so you should be able to pop them up real quickly, at least as far as the power is concerned. I think Tad, in a moment, not yet, you'll be able to open up, and he's almost going to fly. He's flying directly towards where the horse is, so I'm not sure if he's going to make a reconnaissance flight, if you will, come in and take a look at it and then go around and then come back in, or if he's going to be satisfied to just go in. Now, there are some telephone lines, it looks like, and that's going to make it a little challenging. That's why he's actually climbing right now. Why don't you open up a little bit, and folks will get an idea. Off to the front of the helicopter is where the horse is, right down there. And on that ridge line, there's some telephone poles. Push into the telephone poles real quick. I don't know if he's going to go. Yeah, I saw those there. So that's you know, an issue for the helicopter as well. You just have to make sure you clear that, and sometimes you can't always see them. So there's a firefighter on the ground talking to the helicopter, directing him in, letting him know, hey, the wires are behind you. Come on, come straight down. You're clear. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. It's a tricky maneuver. It's not easy, and you can see what happens to the bottom of that line. it really starts to whip around. Unfortunately, there's little to no wind today. So you can see it's going over the telephone lines and those power lines now. At first I thought they were telephone, but they look like power lines. That was critical. It was much harder for the pilot. Open up now. You can see it. It's much more difficult for the helicopter to come straight down. When you're moving forward a little bit, you have a lot more control of the aircraft. When you're in a hover and you're coming straight down, your sight picture is different as the pilot, and it can be a lot more difficult to actually maneuver right on down to the exact spot. So you're going to see some movement on that line. You're going to see the firefighter down on the ground who's going to try and grab it, and then he's going to hook it up to the harness. So how far out are we, JJ, till they actually we need the tight shot? Open up a little bit. I'll tell you to push in if you need to. I'd like to see the end of that line. I'd like to see it moving. Right there. You see it? You can push in a little. You see the line? There you go. So this is really great. Slowly that's coming down, and it's not easy. I've done this before as a helicopter pilot, not with an aircraft that big, I can tell you that much, but it's not easy to do. Now you've got to hover backwards a little bit to get it to the firefighter, and that's moving around. It's really a tricky maneuver. He'll get it. He'll just back up, and there you go. It's difficult for the firefighter. You got to be careful. That looks pretty steep. And now he has it. He'll walk that back up. He can tell the pilot. Now for the pilot, it's much easier because the pilot knows that he has control of it. He can actually start to just go straight up a little bit, get himself a little bit more secure. Open up a wider now, if you would, Tad. Let me see. Okay, go back in. I'm sorry. Go back in. It's going to tighten up. They're giving him the okay. And you could see all of the downwash there and all that dust that's coming up. But the horse should be lifted here in just a moment. They're going to get that line tight. JJ, how far out are we to the live shot? I think we're going to stay tight here, folks. If you're with us on Facebook or abc.com, there's a live Channel 7, ABC7 Eyewitness News hit coming up here at any moment. But look at the harness. Look at the debris on it, and there goes the horse. He's up. And now they know that he's secure. Let's see where they actually take him to. They're trying to get him, it looks like he's so sedated he couldn't stand up on his own if he wanted to, and certainly have to be so careful. I'm not sure if they're concerned about the way the harness is attached right now, that they're not just saying go ahead and lift the horse. He's giving them a wave off, so I'm not sure. Usually he'll give him a thumbs up to tell him to go ahead and continue to lift, but no, there it goes. He's waved him off to continue to lift, so everything is okay. And boy, what a maneuver. I mean, it's really an amazing sight. The horse appears to be really sedated. There's no movement on the horse whatsoever. So now it's just a matter of slowly picking the horse up, taking the horse to where you can get the horse care. And once again, we're in Sunland. This is Sonny, the 30-year-old male. About 6:41, the call came in that the horse had slipped down that hillside, going through that fence you see right there. And at this point, we're just trying to figure out exactly where the pilot is going to take the horse. But I'm telling you, it's tricky. When you have a load underneath the helicopter like that, if that starts to swing, it'll start to spin sometimes. Stay on that. We have a live hit, folks, on ABC7. Oh, boy, it hit the fence. Well, they have a tagline they're going to try and grab to stop the horse from moving. And, just got some new information. I heard Brandy mention it. And that was that the horse actually fell through the fence, and the fence broke loose earlier this morning. So we do know this happened about 6:41. It's just that the horse was found at that time. So there they got the taglines on the horse. Slowly but surely he's coming down. And now they're going to be able to get the horse care. So it was a technical event here. It was a picture perfect hoist as far as that's concerned from the helicopter. See the helicopter overhead, lifted him up, brought him to flat land. The veterinarian is here. Animal rescue team is here. We don't have an update on Sonny. The horse is obviously sedated, so didn't really even know what was going on. And hopefully it was just possibly fatigue. I believe 30 30-year-old horse is a little bit on the old side. Maybe it's just got exhausted trying to get up. If the initial reports are of no injuries are actually accurate, we hope that's the case. But as far as the firefighters' job, for the most part, it is over now. They'll let animal control take care of it from here, and the veterinarian, they got the horse to an area where they can get it aid, and hopefully Sonny's going to be okay. But that was pretty amazing. I've seen that several times, but it's the first time I've seen one like this where they actually had to sedate the horse so much that the horse wasn't able to stand once they got him up out of the position he was into. And when we get official information, we'll try and get it out on the horse's condition. But it's sedated to an extent right now we really can't tell. We don't see much movement. It was good timing for the show. Well, horses, just looked it up. So average lifespan for a horse is 25 to 30 years. So it may just be that this horse was on the older side, and once he slipped down that hill and went through the fence, that maybe he just didn't have enough strength to get up. If that's the case, that would be good news. Maybe the initial reports of no injuries are correct, and the horse was just too tired, too fatigued, and an older horse. If that information I got off the web that the lifespan of a horse is 25 to 30 years is correct, the horse would certainly be on the older side. And that could explain maybe the reason there were no injuries, but still the horse couldn't get up. Why don't we make an orbit, a tight orbit? How much more of this you going to want, JJ? All right, clear balance. Balance. Quite a bit.